Welcome to another episode of Power Alphas. I'm one of your co-hosts, Sabby Piscitelli, and as always, I got my beautiful, beautiful wife, Mandy Saccomanno. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Ben, you heard earlier when I said my husband. That did sound a little weird, right?
I was going to tell you. I was like, Sabby, she said that, and it literally
I like it.
You were in the bathroom when the guy was, I was like, well, my husband and I. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that does sound funny. I don't know why. It's been how many months since we've been married, and it's still...
Been like 4 or 5 months
4 or
now.
5 months, and it's like, husband.
I know. Sometimes I still,
Right?
like my wife's at home, like, my wife, wow. It's weird.
You made it. You did it.
We did
it.
Yeah.
I made it.
One check.
Mama, I made it. Mama, I did it.
Too funny.
So what's going on, babe? First of all, glad to be back. We had a nice little vacation in Vail we're going to get to in a second.
Yeah.
And you can share your skiing experiences. But how you feeling today, baby?
I'm feeling great. Yes, we were traveling a bit. We were in Vail. Then I went to New York. I had my signing with Big Event in Long Island, which was a success. Always love meeting all of my fans. And I don't know if it's like a New York thing, but I love getting out there and I don't know, because I grew up in New York, but I had a lot of fans turn up, and it was a nice time. And then I got to go home and spend a lot of time with the family.
Yeah, you got to stay with the moms, right?
Yeah, so I was staying with my mom because we're renovating our kitchen. And that was pretty cool to get. I posted a little bit about it on Snapchat. Really cool to see in person because Sabby and I have been doing a lot over, the phone and FaceTime. But we're really excited for that. We're doing some remodeling in our New York home.
I'm excited about that.
It's very exciting.
I'm excited, but I'm glad.
Yes, staying with my mom. Can we just talk about that for a second? Like, guys, my mom.
Your mom
is
needs a reality show.
She said it too.
Show.
She's like, girl, we need a reality show.
No, she needs the reality show.
But she's funny. When she used to get on camera sometimes back in the day,
nervous?
She would get nervous, and she's so genuinely funny. And her authenticity is like amazing because everyone's always just like, wait, is she for real? Like, she's for real. And she's just a character. Like,
shot.
Oh, she's so shot.
So
But
shot.
we had a lot of fun.
If you
I
just
love my
want
mom.
like constant belly laughs.
Yes, belly laughs.
You want
So
constant
wait,
belly laughs?
let's tell them the story.
But
We have to share this with you guys and Ben. So speaking of belly laughs, Sabby just brought it to my attention. So my parents have been divorced for quite some time now. I don't even know how long it's been. So my mom has, had some boyfriends here and there, and she dates and whatever, and hasn't had a ton of luck. I mean, she's had some serious guys, but whatever. So she's on a few of the dating apps, right? So she's on Facebook dating.
Oh.
So we're laying in bed, and she's like, I don't know. Like, I feel like something's up with my Facebook dating. Like, some people just don't get back to me. And like, I feel like, I don't know, are my pictures good? So I'm like, let me see this. Because obviously, mind you,
this
she's
is good, Ben.
66
This is
or
good.
whatever, 67 years old, and, not as tech savvy as we all are. So I grab her phone. I look at some of the photos, and I'm like, okay, first of all, like, let's clean up some of your photos. Like, some of them are just, I don't know, like, my dog was in one of them, and it was, like, not cropped. Like, how she repost photos?
Yeah,
like,
she
doesn't.
Yep, she don't crop right.
Yeah, she doesn't crop right. So I'm like, okay, delete, whatever. And then I scroll down. I look at the description, and it says, describe yourself. Now, she writes a description of herself, and I'm like, all right, let me see what this is. So it says, describe yourself. A respectable man.
No.
Yes.
No. It said description, like describe yourself. She tried to say what she wanted. She didn't describe herself.
I know, but I'm getting to that,
Okay.
obviously. I'm telling them what
You
it
didn't
said.
say it correctly. Okay,
no, but they're going to get it, obviously. I'm saying it says describe yourself, a respectable man. And it says into, working out, going out, active, all these things, whatever, outdoors. And I'm like, Mom, this is supposed to be about yourself. You're telling people that you are a respectable man.
So she
yes.
what she wanted.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's supposed to be like what you want in a man or what you're looking for. And she described, so she should describe herself. She thought it was like what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
So that's why her dating wasn't
so
working.
the first line said,
Right.
I'm a respectable man.
I'm a respectable man. So basically what you're saying is that she thought it said, when it says like interested in?
Yeah.
She thought it said interested in a respectable man, but it said describe yourself. You're her bio.
So it should have been like, fun, loving,
Yeah,
like to
like,
go out, like to laugh. Like instead of she put respectable
So,
man.
I go, well, Mom, part of it is you're telling people that you're a respectable man, and then they see the photos and they're like, a little confusing. So we were belly laughing because that was just hilarious. And she's like, I can't believe I did that, blah, blah, blah.
So she eventually got it, though.
I had to, yeah, I actually did. I changed her whole description. I said, okay, now you're good. This is what, what you're describing.
Hey, we got to check back on that because I
Listen.
want to hear
Listen, she's the best. Got the heart of gold. She's awesome. But I'm telling you right now, it's constant. Like, it's almost like,
24-hour
it's almost like you almost like, is she really serious? You just said that? Like,
yeah.
She has like no filter. She doesn't really like think things through. Like she'll be like, Mandy, how do you turn on the microwave? Like, what do you mean how you turn on the microwave? It just says on right there. Like push the button. But like she just says things out loud like you wouldn't even think you would say out loud. It's just
Well, she
everything.
got really used to living with me for like 3 years, and Sabby had like the tail end of it. So I think her getting used to living with me, I did a lot for her, and I helped her with a lot of things. So Sabby would come over and she'd be like, I can't figure this out before she even tried to figure it out.
before she tries. It's hilarious.
So it was like, Mom, look at it. And then Sabby would laugh. He'd be like, and we laugh. We're like, she had 4 kids and my dad was working all day. So I don't know. She's had a, she's a funny one. So anyway.
Good times.
Good times. We had a great time.
Times.
Vail was fun.
Vail was fun. Vail was
I'm such a good skier.
oh my God. Let's get to this point for a second.
I gotta just say, I saw a little glimpse.
Yeah.
I saw a little glimpse of it. And
it wasn't her proudest moment, I could say. Now I will say this though. I will say anybody that skis and understands the culture of like, a blue or green and a black or what all that stuff is. Obviously, anybody that listens to our show, if they last year when we went on our ski trip, Mandy's last run. Mandy was doing really good last year. She was getting her confidence going. She was getting a little tired, fatigued. We were going to do like one more run. And long story short, she almost blew out her knee.
Yeah.
She fell bad. They had her bring her down in the toboggan. It was an ugly scene. But thank God everything was perfectly fine, right?
So I lost my confidence.
So she lost the confidence. So the first couple days, her best friend was out there with her. So she didn't ski with me. I went out with the boys and we ripped the mountain and
ripped the mountain.
Yeah, I was excited because I got a lot better. Which I'm not good by any means. Don't get me wrong.
He's come a long way,
but I've
guys.
come a long, long way.
You saw that
I can go down. I was actually like passing people on the mountain. I was like, whoa, this is cool.
He was
man.
actually holding my skis.
Yeah, I was holding her skiing down.
When I was coming down.
So let's fast. So the first couple days I was with my boys. So like the third, fourth day, her best friend left. So we were gonna go out together, and we were up at Vail Mountain. And I bring up the gondola, and then we're at the mid-Vail, and I go up to chairlift 4, where there's a part where you kind of start pretty casual, then it branches off to like a blue, a black, or a green. So I'm going to bring her down to green, and she's doing okay. She's really slowly getting into it, but she's doing okay. And then right when we make the turn and start heading down to green, I could just see it in her eyes, just panicked, no confidence.
No, and you need confidence.
She was going so slow, she was going backwards, I think. Like, it was like, it's almost harder. The slower you go, it's almost harder.
It was harder. And
so she couldn't even turn. And finally, I just got to a point where I said, babe, you're going to hurt yourself. Take your skis off and just walk down. It's not worth it.
The girl we were with, unfortunately, we didn't know them, but we met them on the trip. Like, she actually tore her
ACL
that day.
Man.
Yeah, the next day, actually. And I just was like, I'm not going to go out today and whatever. And it was her first time skiing. And, people don't realize, too, like, skiing is so crazy because I feel like, you got 4-year-olds passing by you, like asking me, like, are you
Flying
okay?
by you.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Like, no worries here. I'll meet you at the bottom. But
Slow
I told
down there,
Sabby,
Speed Racer.
I told him, I was like, Vail is like beautiful and all, but like they didn't really have bunny slopes. Like, I need to start out on a bunny slope.
The part we were at was
they were born. They were born.
They were born.
I will say this. It was obviously, like, again, I'm not like a diehard ski guy, but I've heard like people come around the world to ski that mountain. Like, Vail's like top 5 in the country or even the world to ski. Which was really cool though. We stayed on the mountain, so we were like ski in, ski out. Like, literally, like when I was off the gondola, like I unclicked my skis and I was in our suite within 90 seconds.
Yeah, we stayed at the lodge at
Ben,
Vail.
Wow.
Ben, like, no joke. Like, if this is like the gondola we're at right now, our room, like not our hotel, our room was probably like where lemongrass is.
What?
Yeah, like no joke.
What?
Like
Yeah.
no,
That's
it
crazy.
took me 90 seconds from when I took my skis off to be in our suite. Like it was perfect.
Well, that's
'cause
the pros of staying
it
at
was
the
yeah,
Vale.
it was a Vale Village. It was
So
the beautiful. It's the oldest hotel in Vale. It's the first one built, and like the way our room was. Our room actually balcony faced the gondola, and like you walked around, and then you walked through like the side door, and like we were like in our suite in like 90 seconds. So
Yeah,
that
it
was
was
kind of
nice.
cool.
That's pretty cool.
It's
That
such
was
a
really
cute
cool.
town too.
Yeah.
Like there's so many cute little shops and just like cute places to eat and drink, and it was a lot of fun. But like
It
my
was.
whole thing is I lost my confidence, and to be honest, it just wasn't worth it. Like I needed a little. I wasn't really feeling great either. I was coming down with the cold, which I did have the cold. Not trying to make excuses or anything, but skiing is not easy, and
If you're
I
not
think
confident either.
yeah, and I think my biggest, like, if you're okay with just like that's why little kids are so good because
No fear.
they have no fear of
No
falling.
fear, no
like
fear.
I was fearing of falling so bad that I was like,
You
this is
weren't
gonna
even enjoying
I
the
wasn't even
moment.
enjoying
Yeah,
it. I'm like,
yeah.
I don't want to fall. I don't want to fall. Like, and the turns, and I'm
And the
like,
fact that you already fell once,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you already
And I-
have that like
gone.
pre, like all
I
right,
do.
you know,
I had like
so-
a little PTSD
Yeah.
from that
So
fall.
you know what? That being said,
But it was a great trip.
we're gonna have to get you like I don't know what we're gonna have to do next year on a ski trip.
Do they do like trainer wheels for skis?
I don't know. It's a good point.
But yeah, well,
Maybe
they have the-
sit or something.
I've seen some things where they have the the adults with their kids, like there's the thing where it's wrapped around them and they're holding them.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's more dangerous.
That's
like
more
me and you would be like
I don't know,
flying
yeah.
into each other. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not that good by any means.
Listen, at least I came to serve. Did you see some of my outfits, Ben?
Oh,
Her outfits were good.
you were looking.
Did you see
very
those
nice.
moon boots?
She looked like
The
she was a
moon boots.
pro.
Yeah,
Yeah, I made it look like I was a skier, but you know what?
that's all that matters. That's all that matters.
You can't have it all. You know,
Oh,
I'm
goodness.
good
Here
at
we
some
go.
things. You can't be good at everything.
Oh goodness.
That was like the first time I saw you ski. I said, "Wow,
she
stud
made
athlete."
fun of me all night.
Well, because it was weird because watching someone that's literally picks up anything and is like all-star at it, and then all of a sudden he gets on skis and I'm like, is that the same person? Guys, I'll show you the video. It was hysterical, but he's come a long way. He was actually flying by.
Did you snowboard this time or ski this
I
time?
ski. I
only
don't
ski,
snowboard.
oh,
yeah.
yeah.
You only skied? Mm-hmm. Oh, have you not tried snowboarding?
I did once, and I'll never do it again.
Oh, really?
People say
Yeah,
it's harder,
really,
but when
yeah.
I watch it, I'm like, that looks easier to me.
They say the learning curve is a lot harder on a snowboard, but they say once you get it on a snowboard, it's a lot easier than skiing. Supposedly.
falling hurts more, they
Falling
say?
hurts way more because you're locked in the board. Like,
but, like, the legs with skiing,
you're not
like,
locked in.
they go different
Your
ways.
foot comes out. Like I actually.
Oh yeah, you face plant when you snow. I mean,
Oh,
I've
brother.
I've snowboarded, and I had a really bad experience just because I was a little overweight at that time. And I'll be honest with you, if your board gets stuck in that snow,
Brother.
you're
Brother.
it's like
So
Yeah.
let me tell you real quick before we go on the next topic. It was real quick. Why I'll never snowboard again. So kind of scenario like she just said, right? So I just get done with the NFL, right? I just finished my career because obviously I couldn't do it when I was playing. So my brother-in-law, my sister's husband at the time, they lived in Breckenridge. So he was like a really good snowboarder, you know. So we're at the house at night, and we were gonna go. He was gonna take me snowboarding for the first time. So my sister's like trying to give me pointers in like the living room, and he walks in. He's like, Sabrina, he's like, your brother's a freaking world-class athlete, starting,
Yeah, that's what they
safety
think.
NFL. Like this guy will get on the top of the mountain and pick it up in a second. He's, I used to surf, I wakeboard, so I thought it was gonna be all good, right? He brings me up to the freaking top. Like a black to the top.
So bad.
Right? So I'm like, yo, okay, whatever. Like, I didn't even know how to get off the gondola. Like, I think I fell off the ski. I don't know, remember. But so now I'm at the top of the mountain, dude. Never snowboarded in my life. He's thinking,
That's scary.
He's a world-class athlete. He's going to pick it up. But I click my feet in. Dude, like you just said, I would say maybe 300 yards. I'm kind of getting it. All of a sudden, my front end hits, and I face plant. Bro, I knocked myself out, I think, for a second. I could have sworn I was out cold for a second because I remember kind of coming to, like face killing me. I actually laid there for maybe like 10 minutes, just had to collect my thoughts. It took me, I think, an hour and a half to get down the mountain. I fell so many times. So at that point, again, I was kind of ruined from it. But then I never went back to snowboarding. I went to all skiing after that. But
That's why you gotta like ease into
Yeah,
things.
that was my
because
story.
That
Yeah,
would
that
give
was-
you such a bad
That
experience.
was my story.
And like you never want to do it again.
Ever.
I feel like.
Ever.
Yeah, it's not like that's not fun to me.
No, it wasn't
like
fun.
at all.
Why would he take you to the top of the?
I know.
Like that's like.
because you just said, like, oh, world-class athlete, he'll take
but-
care of it. He used to surf. I
I
used to
feel like that's kind
wakeboard.
of what Rob thought when he first maybe had you on too.
Maybe.
Meanwhile, you're
Embarrassing.
falling.
Embarrassment.
You're going down the thing, and Rob's like
The
you're
bunny
like,
slope. I couldn't
"Why-"
get on a bunny slopes.
He goes, "Why can't I stop? I have the video." video, and Rob's like, gravity. Okay, anyway, we went way too long about this.
Way too long about the funny
but
stuff.
We were having a lot of fun.
Yeah, we were.
So anyway, guys, today's episode, besides all that, we want to kind of dive into a little bit about like the business side of subscription-based platforms. I know we spoke a lot last episode about it, and I got a lot of questions regarding, whether one wants to get into it, whether one wants, to know what it's all about or the stigma and all these different things. So we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about some relationship topics between like Sabby and I, and I'm sure many of you out there, kind of like handling the heat when you're both in the spotlight, kind of like, with sports entertainment and crossing over. And also we want to talk about the power dynamic in alpha relationships, which I think is very exciting.
One.
Yeah.
I like that one.
I think it's cool. So let's dive in a little bit to talk about, I know last episode we spoke a lot about it, and I feel like there was a lot of chatter about subscription-based platform, but I think there's a stigma of also like, oh, you just take pictures and it must be so easy. And I think people really get the wrong idea because it's not just taking pictures. And at first it may seem like that. Even in the beginning when I first got involved, I was like, oh, this should be easy. But like there's so many things that come into play and, marketing. And if you want to take it to that next level, which we have, and it's a learning experience, just like anything else. And you kind of grow and you find yourself learning and getting better at things. So I feel like there's so much marketing involved, and it's not just taking photos and, posting them online, obviously. You're having this relationship with your fans, but you're also, you have a brand and you're doing photo shoots. And I always joke around with Sabby sometimes because he's like, yeah, rough day, had a photo shoot. But like photo shoots are tiring.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. You know what? It's when you even bring this topic up, first of all, you are absolutely right. There is so much more that goes into just taking pictures. Even like, you have these teams that run all these women's, platforms and help them out, and the photographers, all this stuff. But kind of like we just said, subscription-based platforms, I think that's what the whole world and universe has gone to, if you think about it, right? I mean, every single company has that blueprint, has that business plan. Like we make jokes about it. Like how many times, like there's always a running joke, like how many subscriptions do you still pay for a month that you don't use, right?
Yeah.
So like for me, I think the last 15 years, or even maybe 10 to 15 years, it's all transitioned to subscription-based platforms. Now, someone like you who has been very successful can translate or can kind of convert into using that platform to make a very, 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 very good living. Like you said, 10 times your money, almost 10x your money. But I think that really is the future. And I think when you look into some of these very, very smart businessmen, including Vince McMahon, back in the day, remember Vince McMahon cut out his pay-per-views and went to a straight subscription-based platform. People thought he was nuts.
Network.
Yeah. People thought he was nuts. I remember, think about it, back in the day, WWE used to have like 13 pay-per-views. Right? Like, one a month or one, every couple of weeks. That was their bread and butter. That was their money makers. Yeah. When Vince said, I'm taking this away and I'm going to a subscription-based platform, that was the biggest risk he ever took, but it was the biggest reward I think he ever got. So it's kind of like what our world's gone to.
Exactly. And it's not only the pay-per-views. Like they've realized when they had this platform, it's like, wow, we have full control over everything that we put out there, whether it's going live with a superstar. I'm just talking WWE right now because that's what we were just talking about. But or putting old footage out and then having you pay this price and you get all of this rather than having to pay out a separate network that is only going to play your pay-per-view once a month or your show once a week or whatever it may be. So companies are seeing that lucrative side of it, and to relate it to this, and yes, it's a little bit different, but I agree with you. I do think that is the future. And I think, people have a little bit of a misconception of like what it really is or what the stigma kind of brings it.
You're always on your phone.
I'm
You're always busy.
working.
It's actually, it really is, It's a full-time job.
It is. It's not just like the photo shoots and all that too. Like Sabby just mentioned, you have a whole marketing team behind you, helping you with ideas, creative ideas, how to engage with your fans, what your fans want from you. Like, my niche is wrestling, and it's like scratching that itch, like to go and, talk about something that's totally irrelevant. It's not going to do numbers like doing a video and talking about wrestling will, or even involving wrestling in some type of way, because my fans are there to obviously watch me, and they, I developed this personality that they gravitated towards, not just because of wrestling, but a big part of it was wrestling. And I take full credit. Like, there's a lot of comments I've noticed of like, oh, well, you wouldn't be where you are. You wouldn't have 10x your money without wrestling. And I'm like, yeah, I've never said that I wouldn't have. I'm so grateful for what wrestling has done for me and what WWE and the platform presented itself with in developing this huge fan base for me. I'm so grateful. And I talked about that on the Tamron Hall show and went into great detail about that. So I, don't think I think sometimes people are misconstruing the fact that I just think, I'm doing so well because I just fell in luck or something. Exactly. Like I've worked very hard
to this moment.
Right.
Absolutely.
And I worked very hard before WWE and developing the self-discipline and the motivation and the drive to become who I am when it comes to fitness and all these other things. So, and then also just like, another topic to kind of transition through that is like the relevancy, like the sports and entertainment crossover. So like not just in wrestling, but Sabby can relate because he was in the NFL. And I think where social media has grown to, and we talk about this, like, when you were in the NFL, how many years ago now?
Yeah.
You would never know because he has such a baby face.
Oh my God.
People are like, how old did you play when you were 12?
Yeah, like dude, my last year was what, 2012, 13 season? So 2000. Oh
wow,
my
so that's
gosh,
almost
dude,
20 years?
No, babe. No, it's 25.
Clearly, I'm not a mathematician.
No, it's about 13 years now.
Wait, what year was it?
2012.
Oh, okay.
No, so it's about, I would say it's about 12 years, yeah.
Yeah, 20 would be like
12 years.
50. Okay, so about 12 years. So
wow.
That's crazy.
Gosh, I feel old.
Babe, you're getting
But,
old.
Instagram was like the last couple years of my career. Like
Yeah,
the last, 2-3 years of my career. But social media was nowhere near as relevant. And I think, kind of like where you're going with this, I think us athletes, and you've capitalized tremendously, but everybody who's playing now should capitalize on this as your career kind of fizzles. You transition into the subscription-based platform or a social media following. 'Cause all these guys have big social media followings, right?
Right. Well,
the guys that are like star athletes, right? So for me,
do something with it.
yeah. So that's the thing is like figure your niche, figure how to get into it, and kind of catapult yourself because all your success you had, just like you had all that success in fitness, reality TV shows, WWE, double champion, catapult you to where you're at today. And I think if I have a message for all these athletes today, listen, here's the reality. It'll shut off like that.
Yeah.
It will shut off faster than you can believe, and even it's going to be actually depressing how fast it's going to shut off for you. And the reality is, capitalize on your window, make as much money as you can, but also take this opportunity to set up other avenues, right? Get out there, do brand deals, brand marketing, subscription-based platforms. Because even if you're in NFL, you're not 1099. NFL, you can do whatever you want.
Right.
WWE is a little more restrictive of 1099, being all that kind of, self-employed kind of bullshit that Vince did, which is kind of a con artist, but it's okay. But that being said, like that's where this generation is going.
Yeah. And like Sabby said, when that does shut off, it's like, think about what is left with you, what you have. You've worked so hard all these years to become who you are. And this kind of goes back to like the NIL talk. It's like, use your name, image, and likeness and create some sort of platform, whatever it may be. It doesn't have, whatever it is, it's like, and run with that because, an athlete or anything like that, like you have a shelf life, no matter, I don't care what sport it is, football, wrestling, baseball, whatever it may be, you have that shelf life. But nowadays, social media, I think it's such an amazing thing because it helps athletes and entertainers, even in, in Hollywood or whatever it may be. It's like it helps them grow through a platform that they can go and do something else, where they're not just, oh, that's just that baseball player that really everybody forgot about, in a way. Like, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So it really helps. So I think like your generation is kind of realizing that now, and you see some of your friends that, some big names that are using social media in a good way. But that it is the future. And I think that's the biggest thing, the biggest take home from this.
Absolutely.
One little thing I want to chat about, babe, because we've been talking about it and we find it kind of interesting and funny. But some of these trending fitness hacks.
Oh my goodness.
What is the one where the guy's dumping
man.
his face in the ice cold water?
Listen, first of all, kudos to him, because he put out something so stupid, in my opinion.
Smart, though.
And so ignorant that he got so many views and so many people trolling him. So now they're talking about him, which is cool. Good for him. Congratulations, buddy. But like dunking your face in a bucket of water with some ice cubes in it, and some like Saratoga water he's using.
Wait,
like explain this to me, man.
No, that makes so much sense that you guys are. I was so confused at what. I keep seeing.
I don't even know what he's doing.
Like, now more people are doing it too.
Yeah, they're doing it's a trend.
But they're making fun of him.
They're
making fun of him.
Yeah.
It's like 5:17 a.m. Wake up.
Yeah.
5:16 a.m.
He put up a video that this dude is jumping into a pool. It's like 8:36, and then he hits the water at 8:40. It's like you hovered for 4 minutes.
Yeah, I saw that
but
too.
Logan Paul's video.
Logan Paul today
me.
actually just came out today, which will be when this thing airs. Probably 10 days ago, 8 days ago. But that being said, you know what I don't like? What these people are doing, though, and I'm going to call them all out right now. Supposedly he's a fitness coach, a fitness online coach, right? He's saying he wakes up at 3:45 in the morning or 4 a.m. Okay, brother, let me tell you something right now. First of all, you're lying. I'm going to tell you why you're lying. If you are a fitness coach and you believe in your fitness, you better be in bed at 8 o'clock. Because if you're waking up at 4...
He may be going to bed at 8.
I don't think he's going to bed at 8 o'clock. That's the problem. If you're going to bed at 8 o'clock, good for you. Kudos. Wake up at 4. But like, what this social media is doing a little bit too much for me.
You go to bed at 9.
I go to bed at 9. I ain't going to lie. But I wake up at 6:30. I don't fucking say I wake up at 4, right? But at the end of the day, it's like you're making the average American, or even just the 99th percentile of the population, almost think like they're a loser or they're a failure because they're not waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, it's a bit much.
Or 3:45 in the morning. You're like, bro, how about you just wake up at 1 o'clock in the morning then? Like, if you're gonna, so like these people are trying to perceive that they're so far advanced, but they're not, because if you're a fitness coach or you're in the fitness world or you want to care about your body, you need 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night.
Yeah,
okay?
You don't recover without sleep.
So don't tell me you want to help people become in better shape, but tell me you wake up at 4 in the morning, unless you're telling them you will go to bed at 8 o'clock at night. And I think that's the misconception right now that is getting a little out of hand, right? They're using these fairy tale lies and like dunking your head in water of like, but here's the best thing. You want to dunk your head in water and some ice? Cool. Why are you using Saratoga?
Yeah. Like, why are you
using a $5
water?
bottle of water, bro? Like I know, okay, you got money, you show your Rolls Royce. Cool. That's cool. But like, not the average person's going to waste a $5 bottle of water.
You're going to blow through your money pretty fast if you're going through Saratoga.
I like to drink it. I that's like the best one.
Thing is, these people got to be careful out here, man. With like I understand they're trying to get clicks and all that stuff, and good for them. And they got 8 million followers. Happy for that. But make sure you tell the truth. Like, tell the truth, man. Like, tell the truth. What time are you really waking up? Okay. Like, I was telling her I want to do my morning routine. Like, and I'm not saying anybody special, but I work my butt off. I'm 41.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm in great
maybe his
shape.
whole thing
but I want to
was-
show you my morning routine.
I was gonna say I'm interested in
Yeah,
that.
I'm
interested.
But maybe his whole thing was to create such a, like...
He did a good job,
we're
because
talking
I'm
about
making
it
fun of him right now.
And all these people are doing these videos. Logan Paul just did a video. It's like all these... And it's like... And that means they're sharing his video. And maybe that was a marketing ploy.
Like, if him, like, he does this running thing. Right, he runs in like cement, and he got his cars chasing him. He's got like the little vest on.
I think it's just for Instagram.
I know, but like, bro, what are you doing? First of all, running on cement's not even good for you.
You're thinking of more like logistics. I think
but it's not good for you. That's the best part about it.
But I think some of the stuff on social media is very
It's all misleading.
It's all misleading.
And the problem is now us as a society, we're second guessing what we're doing. We actually feel like negative about ourselves. Go, oh, I'm not waking up at 4.
Yeah, but
I'm a loser.
to that point, this is social media.
Yeah, I guess
this
so.
isn't even just this guy. I mean, and listen, I'm in the brunt of it. I'm not saying like I'm not trying to be a hypocrite, all that, but like that's why Sabby and I love having a podcast too, is because we get to talk about the things that you don't see. And this is kind of getting to our next topic, but that was like your point just now. Like this is what's the con of social media. There's so many pros, but the con of it is that it's so misleading.
We don't know
Like
what's
some
real
of these
anymore.
You don't know
women,
what's
yeah,
real
We literally
like we don't.
Have you seen the AI videos? That
Oh,
are
that's
coming out?
crazy.
Forget about
Where
it.
it's like she'll be like,
She
this
looks
is
so
a
perfect.
boat.
Yeah.
Is it real or not? And then the boat will just lift up because it's AI.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm like,
But it looked real.
It looked so
Yeah.
real. So,
But even
yeah,
like
to your
people's
point.
self-confidence, it's like that is
that's the problem.
such a hard, like you
That's
just
the
said
problem.
that exact thing that you just said, that this is a male side of it, a woman side of it. Like look at all these, Instagram models and all these people out there, or even like nowadays with all these enhancements that you can do, and it's like the stuff that's not real or like not attainable, and it's like these. I think it's really affecting people's mental health because they're looking at it and like you just said, oh, he's putting on this, if I don't wake up at 4:00 in the morning, I'm a piece of shit. Like, and it's not the case. Like, no, you're not a piece of shit.
Well, that's why you take it for what it is. Use it for
Use
what
it for
it
what
is.
it is.
Use it as a tool. Use it as a marketing tool to make money. Everyone, listen, we've talked about this before, man. Listen, nobody's coming to help you. Nobody's coming to make money for you. Go get it. Make as much money as you can. I support all that. Just be careful of the misleading information you give people.
Yeah.
And that's the things like I don't agree with. And my whole life's been my body. I'm not a fitness coach. No, I'm not. I'm not a fitness trainer. But I know a lot from my experiences, so I can call people out that are bullshitting. And for me, it's just one of them things where just be careful of everything you see on social media. That's it. That's what I would say on that.
No, I agree. And that goes across the board with everything on social media.
It's a tool, not a lifestyle.
Exactly right. It's a tool, not
Use
a
it
lifestyle.
as a tool and don't believe everything you see. Which brings us into the next topic, which is basically kind of balancing relationships when you both have dominant personalities.
two
like
alphas?
Sabby and myself.
With two alphas?
Yeah, you guys see a lot of interesting dynamic we have on the podcast. You see our social media. Usually, we do our date nights. We're a very happy, lovey couple, obviously, and we're very grateful for each other. But, don't get it twisted. We do have fights, really crazy fights too. No, not that crazy, but we do.
Pretty
sometimes.
intense.
They get intense because we're both very passionate and both very intense people, and we both have a little alpha in us, hence the Power Alpha podcast, which is fine. But, I grew up with a lot of boys and 3 older brothers, and they kind of were on me a lot, and I felt like I was always having to stick up for myself or like defend myself, so it's just kind of like in my nature that I am a little defensive, and I do have a strong personality for a female woman, you would say.
Very.
So I think the two of us, we have a good balance because it's also been, 5-6 years we've been together, and we know each other and we communicate, which is the biggest thing. But, there's a lot of things that sometimes we get into that, could be a little bit of a struggle at times.
Yeah, to me, I think I got to continue for me personally. I'm just talking about for a male. For my perspective of it is, I fell in love with obviously your alpha personality. I love your presence. I love who you are. I love how confident you are. But there's always a pro and con to that because it's 2 alphas in the room in the sense of sometimes I feel like you just said you grew up with 3 brothers, Italian culture, and I feel like you always had to defend yourself when you were a kid and kind of stick up for yourself when you were a kid. So like you're very quick to kind of defend yourself or stick up for yourself with me, and it's like sometimes I'm not even going down that route.
Yeah.
You jump to conclusions, and that's what I see with our biggest problem. But what I think is really cool that we should talk about in our relationship is like a lot of relationships have like roles, right? Like a laundry role, or like this person
like
does
you
that.
clean, I
Like,
cook.
yeah, exactly.
Type-
Like
yeah.
what I love about our role is I feel like we're more of a team than a role-oriented relationship. Like even like, right now, and I've said this, we said this on the podcast before, obviously you are doing tremendously financially. So for me, it's fun to support you, help you, but it's also fun to take the opportunity and invest our money together, invest your money with my money, and kind of grow things together for me, it's like I know where my role is right now in that aspect of it. So for me, I accept that role, and I'm very humble in that role, and I'm very grateful for the role. I mean, sometimes I have my struggles, but thing is, like, I think I'm a very independent man, and I've always been a very independent man. So, like, for me, like, I don't ever, like, say, hey, babe, like, that's a woman's job, or, like,
Yeah,
you do my
never.
like, never done that.
You're never
and I
like
think
that.
that's what helps our relationship is because I don't know if I agree with that. There's those times anymore.
Yep.
So I think what makes our relationship unique is we are two alphas. We are two very dominant people, but at the end of the day, when we come together, we both share some
Tongue
Similarities.
twister.
I was saying similarities, but I would say we both submit at the right time,
Submit. Good idea.
which is rare because alphas have a hard time submitting,
Yeah.
right? So I
Yep.
think, but we have that balance where I know when I have to submit a little bit, you know, you have to submit a little bit, and for me, I think it's just a beautiful thing because we're more of a team than. I look at more of like a team than more of a
It is.
relationship, you know?
Definitely. No, very well said. And I think the submitting is very important too, because I think, don't take this the wrong way, all the men out there, but sometimes, a man has that way of, like, well, I'm the man and you need to listen to me and, you need to submit to the woman or whatever. But like, I don't really think that's like feasible in a relationship because I don't really think it gives the woman confidence, and I think it just kind of puts them down. Whereas like I think the confidence of a real man that has that vulnerability and has that, self-worth and gratitude that can sit back and be like, oh no, like, we can come together as a team, and it goes along with the roles that you were saying too. And honestly, I do have to say, I think it does come from an upbringing as well, because I see your parents, and your parents had like, when they were obviously raising their kids, it was a little different, and your dad was always working and your mom was doing like the paperwork and always like doing the kid stuff. But I see your parents now, and I think they have a really good balance of like, they both do a lot of the, the things that the household things, like, whereas they both like to cook, they do it together. They both your dad vacuums all the time. Like there are some men out there, and it like you said, it could be like an old school thing or a culture thing of like, they would never pick up a vacuum. And I see it now today. It's like I saw my brother recently, and he was cleaning up the kids' toys, and they have 3 kids, and it's always like a mess, and it's crazy and chaotic. But there's no reason why, like, everyone always says 50-50, but it's never going to be 50-50, because one day I might be feeling down or something may be up, and you may have to, be 80 and I'm 20, or vice versa at the end of the day, where something's going on with you or you're busy and I got to pick up your slack. But that's what a team is about.
Yeah, and I also said, you said something very, very good that I want to elaborate for a second. You said, like, sometimes they accept the role, and the men pokes their chest and say, I'm the man, you're the woman, you sit home, I do this. And it's almost belittling.
Yeah.
Like, you're almost taking their
Where's your
confidence away.
self-worth?
And the thing is, I don't want to be with a woman that's not extremely confident. Like, I think it's actually a better in a relationship when the woman's very confident of who they are. They're very, established of who they are. They understand, they have purpose. And the thing is, a lot of these women now, especially younger women in this South Florida society, I want to be a stay-home. What do you want to be a stay-home woman for?
There's
no
like
self-worth.
no such thing anymore as
There really
stay
isn't.
home. There's
It's
no
hard
such
out
thing.
there, guys.
No,
It's hard out
it's
there.
hard.
Ben could
I'm
relate.
telling you right now, exactly what you just said is one of the hardest things right now.
No, and that's
really.
That's why I'm always a believer, and I'm telling you, man, woman, child, whatever it is, be the best version of yourself. And I promise you this, like, people think that, I'm not happy now, but when I find a boyfriend or girlfriend, I'm gonna be happy. No, you're not. Like, that person's not gonna make you
happy
happy.
with yourself.
And if you're dictating that person to make you happy, you'll never be happy. You'll be miserable.
Yep.
So the thing is, like, for me personally, like, I don't ever want you to feel like I'm superior than you or you're more superior than me.
Right.
Like even now, like, and I can talk about this openly, right? Like, okay, people say, oh, well, your wife makes more money than you right now. That's kind of embarrassing. Well, how's that fucking embarrassing though? Like, my wife is so damn successful. I've helped my wife so much. I've been successful, and we're in different eras of our life. Like, I love that. And for me, it's like most men wouldn't be able to take that as like an emotional, or like an egotistical thing, right? But at the end of the day, it's like, I make you better, you make me better. Yeah. There we go.
Exactly.
And we do things together, and you've been along this journey with me as well. So like, obviously, I'm where I'm at because of you as well, and vice versa, because we make each other better and we're a team. And like Sabby says, like, he handles a lot of like the business side of things and the investment side of things, but it doesn't mean that, I don't jump on calls or I don't want to be intrigued in it, and vice versa. Like we have a really good balance. And I think honestly, it takes time. I don't think, I think other relationships out there, maybe it just doesn't click, but I think confidence is a huge factor, as we spoke about. I think communication is a huge factor, and putting your ego aside, like you just said.
Yeah.
Like that's the biggest thing, because once you put your ego aside and you stay grounded and humble, like so many other things come your way, in the essence of like
And gratitude.
And we practice gratitude every day, but it's like there are so many things when like being, especially, I think society, a lot of times makes people think that it's like, oh, that's the man's role, that's the woman's role, whatever, like that's how it's got to be. But it's 2025, guys. I mean, we all know that it ain't like it used to be. And when we talked before about, nowadays it's very hard to even have a household that has one income. So like the whole stay-at-home mom thing, like personally, I don't know too many women that don't have a job. Really, I don't know any, maybe one. But like, it's not even a thing anymore. And for the biggest thing is, it don't matter how much money you make, it's a purpose.
No, it's a purpose. And I think if I had to give some advice out there to the young generation that has not fallen in love yet, that has not found their significant other, is we are brainwashed, I think, and I went through this, right? At first, find a girl that like you're just attracted to, right? Okay, find a girl that maybe you have good sex with. Okay, cool. That is like 0.0 of like the long-term picture of it. Like if I had to say something, I would say find a woman that, this is cliche, but find a woman that makes you better. But find a woman that has the same kind of beliefs, interest, and motivation that you have. And this is, I'm not knocking anybody out there. Some people, want to enjoy life, right? And that's fine. Find somebody that has the same mindset as you. And what I mean by that, I'm not knocking nothing, but like if you're a very motivated, passionate, committed man to be very successful in your field, if you meet a woman that's really pretty but says to you, I just want to be stay home, like that is not going to work, because that is not the same mindset of life. And for me, it's like I've learned that now, making my mistakes at 41 years old. So for me, I think when you pick your wife or your husband, just be very careful that your beliefs and your mindset is the same, because that will contribute down the road when the looks fade or the sexual part fades or that all that stuff goes away, because you start to fall in love with more of the person than what they look like.
Yeah.
Right. So,
and being a little bit devil's advocate to your point, just because I have to say this because it's just too obvious, but it's also like, that's all amazing, but you have to have that self-confidence in yourself and that self-worth that you can be with someone that could be as equal to you, or
that's
if not
tough.
more.
Yes,
because
that's tough.
I've been around men in the past, and we all know, but there are a lot of men out there that might want that in a woman, that wants to just, no, you do all that, I'm controlling this, and they don't want the woman. And that's whatever floats your boat. I'm not judging if that's what you want to be. So there are different scenarios, but just remember that, because if for the woman's sake, and it can go either way, whatever, we're just talking the general population, but for the woman's sake, if that woman wants purpose and wants to have, to do something, don't be that woman that, is told to stay home or not, because you are going to live a very miserable life.
Exactly.
And
there's nothing, there's nothing wrong if a man is very successful, makes a lot of money, says, hey, I want my wife home, taking care of the house, taking care of the kids. There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
But just make sure the personalities and, like you said, the self-worth is the understanding where that woman's not going to go into depression because of it, or
she doesn't
she's
feel
going to
like
hold
she has
him
purpose.
down. Exactly. So
because once those kids grow up, not for nothing, and they're out of school, I just saw something doing actually a video on it. It's like, okay, well then what? Like
Exactly
there's so
right.
many opportunities nowadays to
Yep,
make money and
absolutely.
do other things. It's like, you just have to have a purpose is a big thing. And we see that with
Absolutely.
like our own dads that, your dad's retired and like obviously purpose is a very
I
big thing
I
for your
struggle
mental
with
health.
it too. Like,
Yeah.
and I'd be like,
You retired at the youngest age possible.
No, I struggle at it, but I struggle at it too because it's not like I have a 9 to 5, right? I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm an entrepreneur per se, and I remember my buddy actually said something to me like 3 weeks ago. I was kind of having one of those moments, and he was just like, he said it to me, and I kind of like thought about it for a second. And it's like he's like, yeah. I'm like, you're right. Like that's where God has me at right now, and it's hard for me because I was 20 years of go, very structured, chasing a dream. College, NFL, WWE. Now it's like, yes, I wake up and I have the freedom of it, but I also work hard on investing and trying to find new deals. And sometimes that's not instant gratification because some of my deals I do might not pay out for like 3 or 4 years down the road. So you don't even know if you did a good job on that deal, right? But for me, it's like sometimes like, I struggle. And I think if you're lying to yourself, you're not struggling. So for me, I always try to find new niches to keep me busy. But at the end of the day, find your niche that makes you happy. And for me, God has you in a place where he wants you, and that's where you have to believe. And every time I stress or worry, I just give it all to God. But at the end of the day, I know that I've worked very hard to be in a position I am today, so I'm grateful for it, right?
Yeah, I
and
love
I'm
that.
grateful that, you do so well that I could sit back and invest your money, my money, our money in a sense of there's no urgency, right? So
And I love that you're so confident and you're such a, motivating man by my side to like want me to do these things. Actually, Gary sent me a really funny video. I got to show you. Just reminded me of that. He's like, you and Sab. And it was like the man cheering on the, it was really silly. It was earlier. But anyway, long story short, we went off topic. We went kind of longer than we expected, but all good stuff.
All good stuff.
And yeah, so anyway, couple things, actually, couple announcements. I will be at WrestleCon the weekend of WrestleMania.
Ooh,
April
Vegas.
17th till the 20th. Vegas. Sabby will be with me too. I will be at WrestleCon Saturday, Sunday. No, I'm sorry, I lied. I will be at WrestleCon Friday, Saturday, and then I will be hosting the Slam Fest and WrestleMania viewing party at the Palms Hotel, the Palms
Ooh,
Pool Party. Sabby will be
nice.
with me.
Yep.
And that's Sunday. So they're doing something on Saturday as well. That's where I got confused. But I will be there on Sunday, which is the 20th. We will be having a watch party. There's going to be a bunch of contests and games and all these things. So a bunch of other superstars will be there as well. But we will be at the Palms Pool Sunday. So make sure you guys come check that out. And I think that's about it right now,
Good day.
right?
Great
So
podcast.
make sure you guys subscribe to the YouTube channel to get all the notifications. Also, don't forget to submit your questions to poweralphaspodcast@gmail.com. And always write your questions in the comments as well, because we like to look at those as well. So thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you guys soon.